All right, just want to film a quick video just to talk about how a good morning routine can really help you win the day and make the most out of every day. Because there's three things I really like about having a good solid morning routine, and the first thing is how you spend the first hour of the day really does set the tone for the rest of the day. So if you start off strong and you feel productive and you're getting things done, that's more likely to continue for the rest of the day. And on the flip side, if you start the day like you hit the snooze button a few times and you feel frazzled and stressed trying to get to work on time, then that often continues for the rest of the day as well. So it just sets the day on a good foot. Um, I also like it because it provides a bit of certainty in the day, and because there is a human desire for some form of certainty. Obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty, and you want to have uncertainty in your life because that's what makes it interesting and sort of pushes you forward. But having that base every day where it's a routine and you know what the first hour of your day is going to look like, it almost empowers you to push yourself a bit more during the rest of the day. And the last thing I like about it as well is that it just make it ensures that you actually get important things done, things that are important but might not necessarily be urgent. So whether that's like reading or just things that can easily get pushed aside at the end of the day if you've had a busy day and you're a bit tired, just make sure that you actually get those things done. So to give you an example of like sort of my ideal morning routine, and I don't do this every single day, but this is sort of like an ideal morning for me, I guess. So what I'll do is I'll get up around 6, and the first 15 minutes I'll just sort of wake up and I'll make a coffee, and just sort of let my body wake up, and then I spend half an hour reading. So I have my coffee and I'll just be on the couch and I'll read for half an hour, read a book, and then so that takes me to about 6:45, and then for 10 minutes I do a guided meditation. So, and just to be clear, like I'm far from like a woo-woo spiritual guy. There's meditation is one of those things. You can look it up. There's hard science about how it can help sort of rewire your brain and get you more clarity and make you more calm. And I use an app called Headspace, which basically it's 10 minutes of guided meditation. So just makes it really easy. I just do that every single morning. And then after that, I spend about 5 minutes doing journaling. So what I do with journaling is I just have a blank journal, and I write three things that I'm grateful for. And the reason I do that is because there's been studies that have shown that like if you write down things, it gives it a lot of power in like rewiring your brain. So if you're always sort of thinking or like writing down like bad negative things, that's sort of training your brain to look for them. But on the flip side, if you're writing down things you're grateful for, it almost rewires your brain to start looking for the best in situations. So like, even to give you an example, like today it's pretty gloomy weather outside, like grey skies, it's really windy, it's probably going to rain in a bit. So but rather than thinking like, oh, today's really bad weather, I'm thinking, oh, it's a really nice day to be inside and sort of listen to the wind, and I'm just like happy to be inside and warm while it's cold outside. So that's just like a simple example, but just it retrains your brain to look for the best in situations, which I'm sure it's pretty obvious that that's a good thing to do. Um, and once I've done that, I just write down like my goal, my sort of goals for the next sort of 6 to 12 months. And so they're obviously evolving and changing, but there was another study that showed that people who actually wrote down their goals were a lot more likely to achieve them than people who didn't. So whether you think that's the case or not, it's been shown that that is true. So if you do have something you're looking to achieve in the next 6 to 12 months, you're a lot more likely to do so if you actually write it down. So those are the two things I'll definitely do. And then if I've got something on my mind or something I want to write, I'll do that, but I don't always do that. And sort of one of the things I like about journaling as well is that it's almost like a reference you can go back to. So I can literally flick back and see what was I doing 6 months ago, like how was I feeling. And one thing I did last year as well is on like at the end of the year, I literally read over the entire journal for the previous year just to see like what my mindset was like for that whole year, like, and like where did I grow, like what changed, and it's actually really interesting. So yeah, that's kind of cool as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my routine. I don't do it religiously every single day, but that's sort of like an ideal situation. So that takes me to about 7 o'clock, and then I'll spend like half an hour just having breakfast and getting ready, and I ride to work, so most of the time. So that's another thing as well. Like exercise is a big one. So I get my daily exercise most of the time by riding to work, and that sort of kills two birds with one stone as well, because I don't have to commute to work by car or train, and I get exercise as well. So that's really good. That's another sort of being productive, making the most of time. Yeah, and so really to summarize, like I really like morning routines because it does give you that grounding, that sort of certainty every day, and helps you actually do the important things every day and make sure you get it done before the busyness of the day kicks in, and just helps you set off your day on the right foot, which is more likely to continue for the rest of the day. Yeah, so I hope that helps. If you obviously everyone's morning routine will be different, so the thing I'll say as well is that most people do have morning routines currently, but they're just sort of unconscious. Like either they'll have like the same cereal or coffee every day, or listen to the same radio show. That's sort of their routine, but it's not like a conscious routine. So everyone has routines, but if you can just make it a bit more deliberate and make it something that's actually going to help you move forward and sort of achieve what you want to achieve, then that's always a good thing. So yeah, I hope that helps. Speak to you soon.